Lots of Philadelphia Eagles free agency news on day 5 of free agency here, but still no Johnson. Pause. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back with another analysis / news video. And I kid you not, that's my real name. And man, we're looking free agency dead in the eyes 5 days after it started. And we have some things to check in on with the supposedly dead and disposed of Philadelphia Eagles. So let's scroll on down. I went right past him. But here we are. Cornerback Darius Slay agreed to a 3-year, $42 million deal through 2025. This after they cut him, released him. We asked him to restructure his contract to, possibly give us some cap savings. He rebuffed that offer, and in turn had his agent just went ahead and started to look for a trade partner. Couldn't find one, and we just, flat out released him. Gave us a $17 million cap savings, and we're gonna offload, I think, 12 or 13 or so next season. So there's still some kind of against the cap, dead cap space, but we still save all that money, and we were able to in turn sign him to this 3-year, $42 million deal, $14 million average. And I mean, he's gonna be 35 by the time this contract ends, but it gives us stability because we also were able to re-sign James Bradbury yesterday. Covered that in the video. Go and watch it, but you're not even watching though. And keep that duo, that pairing there. One was All-Pro, one was a Pro Bowler, but the Pro Bowler shut down the All-Pro Justin Jefferson in week 2. I mean, it was just amazing what you do when you come in and let a corner just play the slot where he's supposed to, and shadow a guy all day instead of leaving him with nothing to do, leaving him without a challenge at his lofty stature. So I mean, it's great to see Slay in midnight green for the next 3 seasons, and this still, I feel like, doesn't deter us from drafting a corner in the first round or in the first 3 rounds. It would be great to have a guy, not just an emergency guy, but a guy that can come in and play in spots and not start over cold turkey when 2025 comes and James Bradbury signed a 2-year deal, so he'll be out of here before Slay. But their decline could be precipitous and could happen at any time. Bradbury himself is 30 years old, so you have older corners. This is like, I want to say, the best pairing we've had since I forget those 2 stalwart, Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent. No shade to our 2022 first and second round corner, Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown. They were solid, but they just they never had quite that level of play that we saw last season, and it evolutionized and elevated us to the Super Bowl, and we're hoping we can run it back, and hopefully we can get one GJ back as well. We'll cover that a little bit later. But man, this was great. I was like, what are we doing here? Just going to the draft and and bring in somebody, but hindsight being what it is, Howie, great move. Darius, once again, he wanted to come back here just like a lot of the veterans, just like Fletcher, just like Brandon Graham, and also Bradbury. That window to win the Super Bowl, the NFC is weaker than the AFC, quarterbacks wise, being the key component, and we have a great chance to run it back, just like he said in his tweet, man. And secondary is going to be top notch, even without CJ. We can find somebody to slot in there and bring in, but I would much rather prefer CJ Gardner-Johnson. Best safety we've had since Brian Dawkins. I can't disagree with that. But yeah, this deal, man, solid work, Howie, man. Just the fucking closer. This offseason, we've been retaining mostly just our free agents. We've added a couple, which are interesting. We'll also cover in a minute. But man, it's been a great fucking highlight to this offseason, where our demise was greatly exaggerated. We were supposedly a sinking ship, and we've lost T.J. Edwards, we lost Hargrave, to a potential superpower, but one without a quarterback at this very moment. But you've got to like where we're standing. We're losing so many people, so many on defense, and a few on offense. Miles going and Isaac Seumalo most likely going to walk whenever he signs. He's still not signed, which is a shocker. But I mean, you've got to like the chances that Howie has given us with this roster going into 2023. So let's continue to look at the Eagles that have signed, re-signed, and have become new Eagles. So Greedy Williams coming over from the Cleveland Browns, a 2019 second-round draft pick out of LSU, the Raging Cajun, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, he signs a 1-year deal with us. Undisclosed the amount right now, but it's got to you got to believe that it's on the cheap because he was a special teams player, relegated to that role last season. Came in the league, on fire. Started a bevy of games, I want to say 8 or so, his rookie season. Acquitted himself nicely, but suffered a nerve injury in his shoulder. Didn't play in 2020. 2021 came back, had 2 picks and had some solid quality play. But in 2022, started out with a hamstring injury, and he just wasn't able to regain their trust, and he was relegated to special teams and just a depth player for them. And but what a great depth player to bring in. His ceiling can be very high. He's playing behind 2 stalwart starters, and then Avonte Maddox in the slot with CJ moonlighting in nickel when we shift him down from his safety position, if he's going to be back. But Greedy Williams as the emergency cornerback, depth player, you got to like that that signing and his position, his chances, especially in garbage time as well, seeing time. But got to be on at face value an improvement over the depth we had this past year. We just have unproven talent in Josh Jobe and Zach McPherson. We just don't know what we have there because they've never been put in the spot. Zach McPherson did have to start I think at half for Slay, but maybe he was decent. I don't know. I don't remember the outlook of his play, but we didn't have to deal with it that much. But just in case of emergency, like I said, we can draft a corner because there's 13 in this draft with at least a 3rd round grade, and you got at least especially if we're able to get some picks in those middle rounds, draft one of those guys to just develop and bring them along, just in case of emergency. And then you have Greedy Williams there, one of the best cornerback rooms that we've had in years, definitely in a very long time. So great signing by Howie, just out here getting steals, just robbing people blind. This player was available to everyone across the league, and Howie got him, brought him in, and I believe it's probably at a very minimal salary. So another clap, kudos, bowing, tipping on the cap to Howie Roseman, going for GM of the year, maybe for the 2nd year in a row. And this signing here just got me giddy because I actually wanted him when he was coming out, and we actually went with Lane Johnson, which I love. I think we went with Lane, I want to say. Was that the same draft? Because it was supposedly 8 years ago. But anyways, he was a chip. Anyways, Deion Jordan was also high on that list, and he's out of the league. He's been out of the league for several years now. Marcus Mariota, man, the boy wonder from Oregon. Just a very talented quarterback, fast, fleet of foot. I think he runs like a 4.52, maybe or at least a sub 4.5 40. But anyways, he's fast. He's faster than Hurts, and I just loved what he put out on tape last year. And here, 1 year, 5 year, $5 million. Whoa, pause. $5 million with the possibility to be $8 million. Probably incentives there, most likely. He hits certain scenarios to fill those requirements. But I mean, hopefully Jalen is not hurt. He's not put in that position. But you got to feel great about this signing. You don't have to change the system like you did for Gardner Minshew last year, who went out. Actually, he signed with the Colts for a $3.5 million deal. Great for him. But he's going to be a backup. Is what he's seen. Maybe even I think he saw himself as a starter. But the market states what you are, not you yourself. like dating as well, women, ladies. Um, Men get that, women, because you guys have so much attention on that. That's a whole other topic. Anyways, this is a fucking Eagles video. Man, just a great signing. He went out and beat the 49ers as the starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons last year. Had a great showing, triple option, moving them, fooling their eyes, getting around the corner. He still has that zip, man. And you gotta love the potential, for gadget plays as well. Let's just say we get to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, God willing. You put him out in the field, bring him in there for a trick play. They gotta honor this guy, man. He's not just some slob out there. He's got legit speed, and he's been used as a gadget player for I think when he went to Tennessee a little bit, because I think maybe Tannehill I think was the starting QB at that time, and yeah, he showed up. Yeah, man, just good. I mean, lovely stuff. So I was happy to get this guy, bring him into the building, and I'm just wondering where all this cap space is coming from. Just how he's a fucking magician. He hit the cap salary, he capped the salary. He hit the salary cap and just you shall open doors for me, and it's been working out, man. And we haven't even restructured with Lane Johnson yet, so there's that. Which brings us to the next guy. You could do that to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back in the building. And this is just, it's strange, but, I can figure out why, and listen to different people talk. It just makes sense. He probably sees himself, at this certain number. And most executives, people in the building, and management around the league see him as mostly a nickel corner. Because he did play nickel corner mostly up until this year, where he played safety for us, and he missed 5 games, so that's gonna ding his value as well in contract talks. And the proof is in the pudding. Jesse Bates went out there, and he's played safety his whole his whole career, free safety, and he got $16 million over a 4 years span, $64 million, but that's because he's proven it year after year after year. And CJ's only done it for a year. Still a young guy, and they probably giving him a low ball offer, $7 to $8 million, maybe tops. Maybe I want to say somebody probably $10 million, which the Broncos being the other big partner that are willing to do business with him. But it's got to be at that number. And thankfully for us, they have been wilding out in free agency, picking up D tackles, picking up, edge rushers from the Cardinals. So I mean, they're kind of tapped out, and then giving Russell Wilson that huge roster bonus. They can't afford to give him a top-notch salary, and it'd be great for them to pair him with Justin Simmons, but they might actually need to make shift him around to make to bring in to save money, to bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It was just working out perfectly in our favor. The longer this goes out, the more his value diminishes on the market, open market, every passing day. And this is still the first wave, still the first week of free agency, but you going into the second week, you're dead in the water as far as commanding what you want. And it's got to be, dropping his not asking price, his demanding price is got to be dropping with each and every passing day. And I know he doesn't want to swallow his pride, and he's not going to be able to honestly send out the message, all right, man, guys, let's go get it. For another couple, how many every year, 3 years, get it this year, without getting the number that he wants. But he's got to at some point swallow his pride and realize he's not going to get what he wants. So maybe go with a shorter term deal and just meet somewhere in the middle, because the Broncos, as is, they're at the bottom of the AFC West. They're not competing for a championship. We just did, even though we had a fucking faulty piece and a D coordinator who was but that's beside the point. Sean Desai, we're giving him a lot of pieces to work with. I thought we were gonna give him trash, but we're giving him the pieces to at the very least be an above average unit on defense. And he's gonna have lots of talent to work with here, man. And I'm interested to see what he can do, how he's going to make his imprint on this defense and a defensive side of the ball, and really what's going to be his version of the Vic Fangio defense that we see. Because we can compare it, because Vic Fangio's going to be coaching down there in Miami. Got paid, I think, the most ever for a D coordinator, probably under Gus Bradley. And they're in Dallas. Dan Quinn, sorry. Gus Bradley is also getting paid somewhere else. I think the Chargers maybe. But I mean, I love the news with CJ. I'm sad it's from a personal vantage point from him and financial vantage point, but for the Eagles, this has got to be a win. So yeah, come on back, bro. Swallow your pride a little bit. Take a little bit of a pay cut, and let's go, man. That'll be 3/4 of the secondary back, and then with the safety spot that's open at strong safety, Marcus Epps, went to the Raiders for $12 million over 2 years. We can slot in, at the very least at the interim, we can slot in Reed Blankenship, and that's solid. He was actually our PFF graded him as our highest rated safety. That's a baller secondary, and we could actually improve, not in all the stats, because I don't think we're gonna get 70 sacks next year. Again, I mean, if you do, whatever, but like, we can actually be a better overall defense with a better D coordinator who actually makes adjustments, isn't vanilla, knows how to disguise coverages, and won't just sit back and let the boys only read and react strictly. So I mean, there's a lot to process there. There's a lot to be hopeful about. But now, anyways, enough talk about the Eagles. Let's go around the league and see what else is going on in the NFL. Who else is being signed here on day 5? Because it's more depth signings and guys that are good value picks. But the real value comes in the following weeks, week 2, week 3, and there and after. Bargains to be had, guys that get humble, finally seeing that they don't really have the value that they thought they did, and they have to swallow their pride and sign a maybe a short-term deal or less money over the course of how many every years, and really prove it, and buy their negotiating power with their play in the 2023 season. All right, so we see here Ian Thomas reduced his salary for the Carolina Panthers, and Dante Jackson worked his contract. He's coming off an injury, so I mean, win for the team. He's a talented corner. I would say maybe top 20 at the very least. Big deal here, Dante Foreman signing a 1-year, $3 million deal. Again, running backs being devalued, but man, he had a 900-yard showing last year, and for Carolina, and yeah, just proving his worth though, and proving that he's trying to reach that ceiling of talent that he had coming into the league. The guy runs a 4.4 and is 230 plus 6 foot. I mean, he's a load to bring down. All right, let's see here. Any other relevant news around the league? Okay, yeah, Gardner Minshew we mentioned earlier, signed with the Colts. Philip Dorsett, another depth signing, a guy, who's, how do you run 4.33 and your career average is hovering around like 12 or 13? Just ill prepared coming into the league as a route runner. He should be a route running maven with that speed and his quickness. But a depth signing here for the Raiders, and that's nothing more, nothing less. Los Angeles Chargers, almost said the Raiders, losing Nasir Adderley here, retired. Don't know what's up with that. Don't really care, to be honest. A lot of depth signings here. Braxton Berrios, 1-year deal. He's a receiver and such, all-pro at punt returner, special teams. So nice, a little signing there. Harrison Smith restructured. He'll get $8 million, but $2 million in incentives, but keeps him with the Vikings. Still a talented player there, but he's like 10-year pro. Let's see, more depth signings here. Here are the Giants, man. They took some action. They're really trying to load up and be a power O over there. I mean, just with all this firepower. They traded for Darren Waller. They re-signed their running back, McLegs. Dan Jones is back. Paris Campbell signed a 1-year deal here for 4.7. He's actually who I wanted for the Eagles in the slot, but a little bit too rich for my blood here. Bring it down to 2, and I believe that be a steal to replace Quez Watkins, or at the very least give him some competition there. But he signs with here for the Giants, and strange enough, he runs 4-3-1, but he's strictly as a slot receiver and not really the downfield target. I haven't done the analysis. Is that on his hands, or is that just what he is? But you know, I mean that's a quality signing for the slot, but more leaning towards the direction of a depth, because they brought back Shepard as well. Missing some people they're bringing in, but I mean they're trying to build something there and rival the Eagles, obviously. But because I mean it's been how many ever seasons since we've had a repeat winner in the NFC East? I think it's since 2004. I mean that's a long streak. Darius Slay also re-signs with the team. His best value would be there with the Giants. They know him inside and out. Speed guy still has decent hands. But, he is a 5th rounder, All right, let's see. Any other relevant news? Clarence Farrell could be an underrated signing. More of a 3-4 style DN that was just overdrafted by the Raiders at number 4 overall his year. And, it just failed. I think he has like under 10 sacks in his career. A 4-year veteran, I want to say. Maybe 5th year, going into his 5th year. Drew Lock here re-signing with the Seattle Seahawks to back up to Geno Smith. 4-year deal. Very palatable for them. Come on now. All right, and Chase Edmonds signed a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Underrated signing. I actually liked him as a runner. Not fast, but very, solid runner. One cut, he, gets up in there. Nice dude. But that's it for around the league. Not many signings, like I said. We're getting more into depth and getting into some of the hidden quality that you're gonna be able to reflect back on and see. Oh, that was a quality signing that was under the radar, but really made a difference for a team here or there. But man, this is one of my shorter videos at 22 minutes. But man, we're back, baby. Prime condition. Anyways, feeling a lot better. Get up out of here. You're not even watching, though. It's all good, though, because it's always fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.